Hey there, Board Game Brody here with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table. Like this one here, S'mores Galore. It's by Mighty Acorn Games, also teamed up with Grand Gamers Guild. This is a family card game about making the best s'mores, or rather sometimes, making the best combinations of the s'mores that will score you the most points. So everyone starts with a free graham cracker to start the game with, and you will be adding cards from left to right to form a pattern of a s'more. The cards that you will add are from this grid in the middle of the table. You have this arrow that you will use to point in a direction and in a row of cards that you want to take. The most would be 4 cards here in the middle from either end, from the center row, but could also be 1 card if you actually really need it from this area here. Then there are these piles of cards of how you want to make your s'mores to score the listed points. You can make straight up s'mores, or you can try some new recipes for even more points. Players will take turns, and on your turn you will move the arrow to choose a row and a direction of cards that you want, and you will collect and place those ingredients in your line. And then you can take up to 2 actions. This continues in a clockwise direction until any two of the recipe piles are empty. Then the game will end, and the player with the most points will then win the game. When you start your turn, you will take the arrow token, and it can be moved to any point in any direction. You have to move it to a new location, so you can't keep it where it was at, which can be the same row, but from the opposite or the other direction. But the arrow cannot stay where it's at. Next, you take the ingredients from your choice of row, but you do this one at a time in the direction from the arrow and add those cards from left to right of your existing line. Hopefully this line is forming the sequence of one of the scoring cards, or maybe close to it. If you don't like an ingredient, you can flip it over and turn it into a stick and place it below your line. Then you can continue taking cards as you would like, adding it to your line. Then you can take up to 2 actions. 1 action being scoring a s'more if you happen to line up a sequence matching a scoring card. If so, just make sure that it matches, and then you take any sticks from the campfire and add them to your score pile. I will explain kind of how the sticks get there. You kind of might know, but for now, you gain them and they give you points. Then you will discard your ingredients starting from the left of your line and place those cards in one of the discard piles. You can still have some cards left over to the right, as you should, to continue setting up for another card to score. So this is how you score these cards, but you can only do this action once per turn. So your other actions will need to be one of these others. If you need some help, or you like, playing strategic by picking up more cards just to make some actions to change things up, then good for you. There's 3 actions to help you do this. You can burn. This means you can discard any number of ingredients from the left end of your lineup, and there are 2 discard piles, and you will place your burned card on top of one of those piles. Or you can churn. This action lets you swap places of any 2 adjacent cards in your lineup and place them in a better place. Or you can return. To do this, you can take a pair of 2 matching cards that are next to each other, remove them from your line, and place them in the discard pile. Then you select 1 card from the top of any of those discard piles, which can be the discard pile that you just placed your cards into. At the end of your turn, you will then move any sticks that is below your lineup to the campfire. Remember, those stick cards got there under your lineup for when you take the ingredients, and there might be ones that you don't want. Those turn into sticks, are placed under your line, and then now you're placing them in the campfire. Ultimately, they will become points for someone who creates a s'more. Play continues, and whenever 2 of the scorecard piles are empty, then each player gets 1 more turn, and then the game ends. Each player counts up their points from completed goal cards, and they then add 1 point for each stick card that they have collected, and then you also score 1 point for every 5 cards left in your lineup to a maximum of 2 points. Then the player with the most points wins the game. And that's S'mores Galore here. It's a card game about forming the best pattern to match scoring cards to gain points. The choosing step with the arrow token makes things flexible for the game as well as strategic. You can point it to get cards that you want in the order that you want them, or get cards to manipulate your line with taking those other available actions later on your turn. The actions will help you change your order and make it so that you can eventually make a pattern to score points. The game is straight to the point. You need to make those special s'mores with a variety of different patterns there. Kids are able to play this game very easily. The game takes only 20 to 30 minutes to play. And it is really easy to theme this game with treats if you are playing it for an event or you want something yummy to eat after playing a game. Again, this is Brody with Let's Table It, where we get games to the table like S'mores Galore here, a pattern building card game. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We are working hard to bring to you videos like this one, so you know if these games are ones that you want to get to your own table.